Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Before I make a video, I always think about like one or two topics what I want to talk about. And this one thing, I had a horrible night of sleep. It was probably because yesterday's leg day. I have it sometimes only on leg days that I just can't, I have a very hard time falling asleep, but also staying asleep. So today I woke up at like 4 a.m. in the morning. I laid in bed until like 5:30, and then I was like, I just get up. I got up, I meditated, then I tried to sleep again, couldn't fall asleep again. And that is sometimes a thing, a part of the process. And that is a thing also like me. I'm not perfect all the time. I have like bad nights of sleep, like all things can happen, right? And the main thing is like how I deal with it. I think a lot with it is with the mindset. That's why today I don't feel tired. I feel fine. I go train. Now I'm pumped for the gym. I slept like maybe 4.5, 5 hours, but I feel amazing. And the main thing is like when we are most of the time on track, right? Like 99% of the time I have good sleep. And if there's like one night like that, it doesn't impact me, because the thing is, once it really impacts your recovery is when it's consecutive, when it's consistent, right? Consistency on the good side of things, it gets us good results, but then consistency also with bad habits, the bad stuff happens. But if it happens occasionally, things like that, it doesn't make like a big difference. And that's how I usually deal with it. When something like that happens out of my control, I just chill, accept it, go on. I still listen to my body. If I would feel super tired today, I would definitely not go train, but I feel amazing. And yeah, and that is like one thing. And it's very interesting why this happens sometimes on leg days, I believe, is because my central nervous system is so fired up, especially after like a hack squat, things like that like I just can't like fall. And that is why like people who are constantly stressed having like often like sleeping disorders, right? Like I highly believe the main reason is like when you are highly stressed, overthinking, your nervous system can't calm down. And something similar happens like when you that's why I also trained a little later yesterday. I trained at 3 p.m. Today I go at my usual time, like 12 to 1 again. But yeah, also if you like when you train later during the day, right, like central nervous is fired up, and then it takes, for me after like that, it can take multiple hours until it's like into that parasympathetic like state again, to like chill down, relax. And that is such a requirement to fall asleep. And I also believe during prep, that is why a big reason why sleeping, like why you just wake up randomly in the night to just get up, is because your cortisol is high, your nervous system is a little more on fire, because hey, go hunt some food, like it doesn't want to chill you down. And that is a big reminder when it comes to sleep. Like the biggest hack is like stress reduction. Like that is such a big thing, because if the stress is high or you're not dealing good with the stress, like the sleep is always reflecting that. And yeah, so not too concerned, very positive that this night tonight will be like much better again. That's how it is, happens sometimes. And another thing, number 2, the next topic is my kind of like goal, or focus this off season is like bringing my quads up. That is a big part. And why I want to bring my quads up, mainly like if you have a look, like all like especially within Asia, like where I plan to do most of my competitions from now on, because hey, I live in Thailand, in Bangkok. There's more and more like professional WMBF shows coming up within Asia. So I plan to just stick around here and do worlds. Worlds is always my main show, but then like Asian shows, and all the Asian dudes, they have big quads. They have huge quads. And yeah, and I believe like my quads aren't bad, they are good, but I need to get them to a freak level to not look like a little out of the play, especially on all those front poses and so on. So I do believe like by really bringing the quads up, it will make a huge difference. Still like the back, the lats, the delts, all of it, like having even more of that X frame. That will be the goal. And Yeah, like this off season, like running with like extremely high volume for quads, what I never did before. So currently I'm running with like that 2 days on, 1 to 2 days off rotation. So this off season is also like more auto-regulative than ever before. So my training days land wherever, I do my rest days, how I feel, even within my calories. I eat a little more intuitive now as well, where I feel like, hey, on some days I'm like really not feeling it, like I eat a little bit less and focusing to get the protein. And because again, like I'm in a spot where I'm not this dependent on food, and it can also be a huge stressor of like force feeding like crazy. And this will be like a few things I'm going to try out this off season, like way more like with all my experience, what I got within the last 13 years, to take that a little bit, play a little bit more with that. And yeah, so training quads like 3 to 4 times a week, 3 to 4 times, like a bunch of like leg extensions. That will be a big part of it. And what is nice about like the leg extension, why I do so much leg extensions, is yeah, it is basically like when we see like, let's say a hack squat or even a leg press, it is more, when you make it very quad bias, more or less a similar motion like a leg extension in a way. And by doing a bunch of leg extensions, I get a bunch of like stimulative reps in, a lot of volume, while keeping the fatigue somewhat minimized. And then I have my hack squat, I have my leg press where I go very hard, but again, there I can't do as much volume because I wouldn't be able to like recover from it. So the plan is like a bunch of leg extensions. So having those high intensity like movement sets in, but also like the high volume. And like I did the math, like with the my reps and stuff, I land, I believe, at around 22 to 30 sets a week, just like quads, like hack, leg press, leg extensions, which is very high. So going to see how that plays out. I'm excited for it. So this time around, like training 5 days most weeks again, because I feel amazing. And that is like the thing with like that auto-regulative approach. And I will most likely do this exact same thing prep next year, where I already did with calories, right? Like days where I go a little harder when I feel like it, days where I go a little easier on the calories, like eat a little more when I feel a little extra beaten up. Same thing with training, where I go like, hey, train like 1-2 days in a row, take 1 to 2 days off, and like really listening to the body. That is like, yeah, that is like a big part what I want to tap more and more into now. And super excited to see how that plays out. And yeah, and obviously it will take a few months to see how good that goes. Recovery is pretty much on point, that is the most important, and the progress is, I feel, better than ever, which shows like with that like higher volume now again, very promising. And especially while not shooting my body weight up as crazy, because that is one thing of like maintaining in a way. It's like, if I make progress, it's like one-on-one muscle growth. It's not like because I'm a kg heavier or something like that. It's like true, like it is like way more promising progress this way. So when I make, then I know things are going extra well when I make progress with this approach. So very looking forward to it. Going to the gym now, upper body day, the next meso is starting, and showing you the clips right here with a voiceover again and explaining a few things from there. All right, guys, let's go into the training side of things. A new one, actually, like with that setup, basically like a kind of a cross body motion, which feels amazing. Like before I was doing it on the other one, like on this one it's actually like a two-side thing. So the nice thing here is like, right, if I do this side, I get automatically much more stretching versus this side. Also here, much more stretch. So now this meso is like, hey, like a little bit more lengthened iliac bias. Before it was like still lengthened bias, but like within also like a little different alignment. So it's like, I feel like sometimes just switching a little of like that arm path out makes like also like for joint health specifically, it's often a smart move, like even on like an anterior dowel press and so on, to switch it a little bit up. So yeah, into partials right here. So I do like, yeah, 12 to 15 first, then 8 to 12, and then very heavy, like 4 to 6 reps on that one. That is also a new one right here. That is like a decline chest press. So I was doing dips before the meso, so I basically swapped dips out with like a kind of, yeah, decline chest press. And I have to say, like, this brand bench in tunnel, it's like hit or miss. Like, I really like the T-bar row from that brand, but also the decline press feels very good, I have to say. So also here, all into to failure, into partial reps. Feels very efficient, very safe. Yeah, three straight sets on that one, followed up by a kind of teres major and upper back pull down kind of motion. So here, like this meso, I try to arch my back a little bit less than usual, and it feels amazing, like a shoulder wide grip. And that is basically I was doing like teres major like flies before, and now I do like a kind of like more like a teres major pull down, upper back pull down kind of thing. And yeah, also this one from the get go feels amazing. That's sometimes the thing of like just like switching out movements just for like the joint health of it, and then you go into it and it just feels super fresh, super efficient from the get-go. However, I believe like when the movement goes super good, like you're progressing, you have fun with it, it feels good, there's no reason to swap it out. Like an RDL, for instance, I do like months on end and it always feels amazing. But sometimes if something feels a little bit off after, let's say, you do the same movement for 3, 4, 5 months, it can be smart for switching it up, and then hey, like your joints, they will feel wow, good to go on it. So yeah, also here every set to par, like that is the thing. Right now I'm running a higher volume approach, but also a lot of like every back movement, every set I also go into partial reps with it, and I recover quite well with it. But you guys, you gotta be careful of like sometimes it can be an overkill like recovery wise. So when it goes like going into partials, like when you are new to that, maybe just doing it on that final set. I do it now on every single set. It just feels safe, efficient for me. I usually get just like 3-4 partial reps in, and therefore like really every set squeezing it out. The meadow rows, also great movement. I keep it in for another mesocycle. This time I try to also shrug it a little bit more up, so also having like the upper traps a little bit more in, so it's a kind of like a shrug and row motion at the same time. This one is still into the rotation, just feels amazing. The flex triceps machine, also here with myo reps, as Alberto says as well. Like there's a specific movements like arms, calves, where I can't even imagine doing them anymore without myo reps, because you save time, you save energy, and and you're getting even more volume in, I feel. Like what I mean by volume is like the volume that actually really counts, right? Like those highly efficient reps, the reps that really slow down. Those are actually the reps that build the majority of muscle, right? Like that's the most stimulative reps, because all the reps before are just like those buy-in reps, which are just in a sense of like there you don't really build muscle, you just get there once those efficient reps come in. But with my reps, you skip that part out basically and directly have it switched on. And it's and so on. On delts, on arms, on abs, on lower back. It is also on leg extensions. It's extra painful on leg extensions, but also there I feel like it's very efficient, because again, like I do usually like 5-6 clusters, and therefore getting like a bunch of like stimulative volume in. And usually I rest very autoregulatively, like 15 to 25 seconds usually. Like the goal is here, like the rest period, I just do it like as long as I feel, until I get like that I finish the series within 4 to 6 sets, so that I get at least like, hey, here the goal is like getting a total of 25 in. My goal is like, hey, the first set should be like 8 reps, then maybe 6 reps, then that I get 5 reps in, and I rest as long where I feel like I get this amount of reps basically in. So that's going amazing. I go extra high rep just because my elbows are very fragile, especially on overhead motion. So I go just that I don't have to use a lot of load. That is the main reason why I go super high rep on those basically. Like here now another one. So I think that the final one I'm going to show you, I want to show you the whole thing, because that's otherwise like a little bit too long. But another thing also to mention with my reps is like I go in like at RPE 8, because if you go directly totally to failure, I feel like you don't have the gas, right? It's an activation set. The activation set's like that's activated, and then afterwards, then I go to like RPE 9, 10 on like those 5-6 clusters, and I feel like that is like that is working the best. So sometimes even the first 2 or 3 my rep sets, I keep a rep in the tank, and then the final 2 or 3 ones, there I go like all in, and then on the final set, there I'm also going into partials. So I think after this was like another like 2 or 3 more to go. But right here we're going to side delts now, also on the flex. That is also like feeling amazing. I think that's the final 2 my rep sets. I believe I'm doing right here. So yeah, I don't use the handles because yeah, if you use the handles, you are forcing your humerus into a position where it might not want to be in, and by not using the handles, you have like the freedom to move your upper arm wherever your mid-scapular plane is, right? Like whatever, wherever it is, and it's always a little like individual from one to the next person. So that's why, yeah, not using the handles, that is like, yeah, important thing. I like to do a fist, so like my forearms are also like kind of hardened, right? Like when it's harder, it's like a little better force production, I feel. And yeah, and the same thing here. Like here, I also like to go a little higher rep on this one. Like especially on side down, sometimes it feels like if I go too heavy, depending on the movement, obviously, but sometimes it feels like other muscle groups want to join in. So the heavier you go on isolation movements, the more standardized your execution needs to be, because otherwise, very easy that other muscle groups can jump in and help you out. So this can be something as well. So yeah, that is mostly it. Most likely will do a physique update very soon for you guys. A physique update right here in my room in the morning, like a proper one, 5 months after prep. So that's going to be exciting, like the upcoming week or the next week. That's the plan. So see you guys soon.